I'm Michael, and sometimes I bake cakes. Today in my cake making adventure, I am going to experiment with orange flavoring. I have here from the Fresh Market Nissan Massey orange extract. It says that half of a teaspoon equals 2 tablespoons of orange juice. So I think I'm going to use in each box of cake mix 1 full teaspoon to equal 4 tablespoons of orange juice. And then in between my layers, I picked up this orange butter today at the Plant Street Market in downtown Winter Garden, Florida. So it's local and hopefully it'll be yummy. So my cakes are out of the oven and they're cooled, and I have leveled the top of those cakes, and I am leveling the top of my top tier. You can see that this one has a little dome on it, and I just want to cut that off so that it's nice and flat, so that when I stack my tiers they'll be nice and flat. I'm going to cut the dome off of this one as well. And I did taste the dome that I cut off, and it does have a subtle orange flavor that's quite lovely. Okay, so I've made my frosting and I am ready to fill my cake. If you need to know how to make frosting, you can reference the Thomas the Train video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill between the layers with this orange butter that I picked up at the Plant Street Market. And then I am going to pipe a layer of buttercream, and then I'm going to crumb coat my cakes. So here are my layers with the yummy orange butter, and it is just delicious. And then I'm also going to put some buttercream in between the layers. So I'm ready to cover my cake in fondant, and I've opened up a package of Wilton Decorator Preferred fondant, and I'm going to put the fondant that I don't use into a Ziploc bag, and then I'm going to need this amount of fondant and roll it out so I can cover my cake. So I've rolled out my fondant, and I have my circle cutter, and I have it set to 7 inches because my smallest tier is 2 inches high and 2.5 inches across. So I'm going to need about 7 inches to cover it, and this leftover fondant is going to go into the Ziploc bag so it doesn't dry out. So this is my top tier covered before I use the fondant smoother, and I'm just going to use the fondant smoother, go all the way around, get it real smooth, and then I'm going to trim off the skirt here on the bottom. Okay, so I have this tier covered, and I'm going to work on the next 2 tiers. So my second tier is an 11-inch circle. So this is the 11-inch circle over the 5-inch cake that is about 3 inches high, give or take a little bit, and I'm just going to smooth that fondant down. This will be my second tier. Okay, so here are all my tiers covered with fondant, and the white fondant I rolled really thin so you can see through the cake. You can even see on this one the soft buttercream in between the 2 layers, but that's going to be alright in this situation because each of the layers are going to get an overlay design element. Like one tier will get ruffles, one tier will get scales. It's gonna be decorated, so that will not show. So for my bottom tier, which is my largest tier, I am going to try a frill technique that I learned on Craftsy. The class was taught by Maggie Austin, and you can purchase that class and find out more. Right now I'm going to talk to you about coloring my fondant. I'm using the Wilton Color Right Performance System, and I measured my fondant out in that green measuring cup, so it's a 1/2 cup of fondant, and I want teal fondant So I used 4 drops of blue and 1 drop of yellow because it says that 8 drops of blue and 2 drops of yellow will go give teal for 1 cup of white buttercream. So I'll see if that works. And so look here, I got this beautiful colored, Little Mermaid colored half a cup of fondant that I'm pretty sure that I can duplicate the color. So I'm loving this Wilton Color Right system. So I finished making all of my frills on my bottom tier, and you can now see that none of that fondant below shows. And then I'll show you how I did the texture on the ruffle. I just used this square cutter. This is by Tappets. It's a plat cutter. And then this came with my modeling toolkit. And I just try to make the texture. You have to use some pressure. I'm holding the camera with one hand, but you would just like drag it out and do it several times all the way across. And then just apply your ruffle to your cake with water. So this is my finished under the sea cake with ruffles. And then it has some scale details. If I had it to do all over again, I would not choose that color pink. But overall, I'm really happy with the way that my ruffles came out. I used my Silhouette Cameo to cut out the happy birthday. I can make a video on how to do this. These are pre-made sugar flower orchids. Other products that I used were cutters by Not Just Cakes by Annie. And this is a cell pad. These I got in the scrapbooking section of Michael's, and it is a Disney Princess chipboard medley. So you can just attach your wooden skewer to your princess and put her on your cake. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, you can post them down below. Also, if you have any ideas for future cakes, let me know.